Good morning, friends. Happy Saturday. We're back for another episode of Supplement Review Saturday. It is episode 2 of our brand new protein powder series. When you're able to watch this video, let me know in the comments if you are watching live with me or if you are catching the replay. Today I am coming to you live from Raleigh, North Carolina. We have a family wedding for my boyfriend's brother today, and we're super excited, but I had to come to you guys and make sure that we got our supplement review in. Got some hair blowing in the wind right now. We're making it work just for you guys, okay? This series has already been so great. I have gotten so much good feedback. So if you are loving this series, please let me know. Shoot us a message or drop a comment and let us know what you're loving about it or what you want to see next. Okay, so I have gotten a lot of questions about collagen since we've started this protein powder series, and I promise you that is coming up soon. But today we're going to dive into 3 more brands of protein powders. We're going to look at Orgain, Optimum Nutrition, and Isagenix protein powders / shake powders, okay? As we mentioned in previous videos, if you do need to go back and watch the previous ones to get a basic understanding of what protein powder is, why we take it, maybe why we shouldn't be taking it, all of that will be in the original overview video as well as episode 1. And we're super excited to continue on this journey and get to the root of what is the best protein powder for you to be taking. All right, so let's jump right in. We have 3 to get through today, and this one is going to be a little bit interesting. So, starting off with Orgain. Now, I will preface this video by saying I am not affiliated with any of the brands that we'll be going through for the entire series, okay? I don't get any gain from these. I just want to look into what is best for your body, okay? I will say that I do personally use Orgain protein powder. I use their superfoods and protein powder mix, which is what we're going to look at today, because it is the most comparable to what the other brands offer. Okay, so Orgain has lots of different ones. They have just protein powder, proteins and greens, the whole shebang. But today we're going to be looking at again, all vegan. Any of these that you see in this series will be vegan protein powders because that is my professional recommendation to anyone trying to take a protein powder. So the vegan protein and superfoods mix from Orgain. It is promoted as just a basic plant-based protein powder with, and I quote, now packed with super nutrition from 50 different organic superfoods. I do want to pause here. You guys know that I am not a huge fan of using the word nutrition when we're looking at supplements. The reason for that is that they're just 2 different categories and they should be marketed as such, okay? So the fact that they have like super nutrition in there, not a huge fan of it, but they do have 50 different food compounds in this protein powder. So do with that what you will. Okay, so now getting into the nitty-gritty here, per serving, which is 2 scoops, and that totals 51 grams, 0 grams of sugar, but it does use erythritol. I was very, very disappointed to find this out. Erythritol is a sweetener. It is a sugar alcohol. Sugar alcohols are classified as man-made things that our body does not recognize as a sugar and therefore does not break it down. In large quantities, sugar alcohols are recognized as toxins by the body, which means that it can start to cause liver damage. It can start to mess with your blood glucose kind of stabilization there. So erythritol, I'm not a huge fan. It did disclose on the nutrition ingredient label that they use 5 grams of erythritol per the 2 scoops. Now going back to that, I personally use half a scoop of protein powder no matter what it is. If you've ever seen one, the scoops that they send are gigantic, okay? That is a lot. And as we mentioned previously, your body does not need that much extra protein. I will always preach this fact, this statistic. 58% of Americans consume 200% of their daily value of protein every single day. That's a lot of protein, which means it's a lot of work on our kidneys. So most people do not need that whole big 2-scoop serving. So just keep in mind when you're looking at these ingredients, when it tells you kind of the overall, like what's in it and how much, you have to kind of look at what you're actually getting for the portion that you are taking. So for me, I would cut each of these statistics that I'm about to share with you into fourths because I'm taking a half of 1 scoop instead of the 2-scoop serving size recommendation. Does that kind of make sense? Moving on here, the 2-scoop serving totals at 160 calories, 21 grams of carbohydrates, 4.5 grams of fat, and 21 grams of protein. This one does do a bit better than last week's brands in terms of being a complete, if we were looking at what these companies want to call it as a nutrition shake, this is a bit more sound than the previous ones that we've looked at already because it has a significant source of dietary carbohydrates and dietary fat. Okay, this one also contains fiber because it has the food compounds, the powdered and dried root and food and leaves, and we'll get into that in a second. But we do want to look at if we're taking something, of course this is marketed as a protein powder, so we want a significant source of protein. But you want to make sure that you're getting other things, right? Why would you take just a protein powder when you can take something that also has other things that you need consistently every single day? Okay? Is everyone following here? We're getting a little sciencey today, but you all know that is how I like it. Okay, so the cons of this one, I tried to be as absolutely unbiased as possible. I do love this one, but I did want to list out the pros and cons just to be fair. So the cons of this one, again, it does contain erythritol, which if you're taking the 2 scoops every single day, and if you are someone who does a diet like keto, or if you are looking for alternate options because you have diabetes and you're consuming sugar alcohols every day, multiple times a day as a replacement for sugar that is recognized by the body and can be regulated in moderate amounts. If you're replacing that with sugar alcohols that cannot be monitored, they cannot be broken down, they cannot be regulated, you could be getting into that toxic zone. So I do want to please warn you against that. For more kind of information or questions about that, go ahead and shoot me a message or drop a comment, say, hey, I want some more information on this, and I'll be sure to get with you on that. Just be warned that erythritol is not one of my favorite ingredients. I'll put it at that. It also contains that natural flavors, which I'm starting to get convinced that we may never find something that does not have natural flavors in it. Again, we just don't know what that really means. So I wish it wasn't in there, but I have not found any yet that do not have that ingredient. It also does not list any amount of each ingredient / nutrient source. So when it lists out those 50 fruits and veggies and grasses, it doesn't say how much is in there. Okay, so again, we just want to kind of know that to know what we're actually intaking and how much so that we don't consume too much or not enough of it from other sources during the day. That could definitely be a little bit more specific there. And then in my personal opinion, the serving size is really large. If you were to use 2 scoops, you would have I think it would probably be like sludge, like drinking just something really thick, and I just think the serving size is probably a little low. I don't think you need that much straight protein in one sitting as a supplement, as a meal. Sure, but again, these are not meal replacements because they do not have that adequate calorie consumption or the nutrient, fiber, carbohydrate, fat balance, that whole thing, okay? So those are the cons. The pros I found, there is a huge list of beneficial herbs, spices, fruits, grains, grasses, and vegetables. it is a very impressive list. They include things like turmeric, which if you are following our Instagram, if not, is at BeWellHWC. We're sharing a ton of anti-inflammatory tips right now, and turmeric is the number one most powerful anti-inflammatory food / herb that you can eat. It is amazing. It is very anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer. This compound also includes holy basil, which has really very strong antiviral properties, which is really great now, of course, that we are kind of all looking out and protecting our body from viruses. So some of those really cool things in there that I know of as an herbal supplementation specialist that a lot of people don't realize, that's really kind of cool to see in a supplement like this. That is a reason that I love this brand. I think it tastes great and it doesn't have that super like grainy and gross texture, but it also includes these things that are promoting my health. It does have, let's see, okay, like I just mentioned, the chemical makeup of these added ingredients here cover everything from antiviral to anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, all the things, okay? It does contain omega fatty acids that are great for brain health, and it also contains a decent source of fiber because you have all of those fruits and veggies powdered and thrown in there. This one clocks in at $30.99 for a 2-pound tub, or if you are a Costco member, you may be able to find it on Amazon for a little bit less money as well. But if you are a Costco member, this one is only $22 for the 2-pound tub, which is a really great price, especially for all those added benefits that I just mentioned that you're going to get with this one. So there is our overall rundown on Orgain. If you're just hopping on, welcome, welcome. Let us know where you're watching from. I'm in Raleigh today, but we are looking at Orgain, moving into Optimum Nutrition now, and Isagenix. If you missed Orgain, come back and watch the replay. It'll be up on Facebook and YouTube for your viewing pleasure anytime you are ready. Okay, next up is Optimum Nutrition. Now, we are in for a fun little ride here. Off the bat, as soon as I pulled up their website, I'm not sure who created this brand, but they are not nutrition professionals. I am going to go out on a whim and say that there because it's a yikes for me on their claims, okay? So, you don't see anything on there about how it's going to help you, which I think is a little strange. All you'll see on their website is best-selling protein powder, #1 protein supplement. These big claims, these big numbers, but it's not saying anything about how it's going to help you. What sets them apart from everyone else in terms of quality, in terms of safety? You get my drift here? So I'm not a huge fan of that big flashy stuff, and there's a lot of that going on here with Optimum Nutrition. Also, I want to throw out there that they have a product under their protein supplement area that is a slow digesting protein powder supplement. It is a casein powderized supplement. Casein is not good for you, okay? Casein is an enzyme in dairy products, and that is what actually gets us addicted to cheese and dairy and milk and things like that. Ice cream. Casein is something that breaks down in our body and connects to the same brain receptors as hard drugs such as cocaine and heroin. So, fun fact there for you today, but no one should be taking a straight up casein supplement. It does not have any health benefit. It's really tough on your digestive tract, which they say there, slow digesting is not good for your stomach. That was just, I was like, what is going on there? I wanted to throw that out there because you have to, it's just like people, right? We have to look at supplements as an individual. If I were looking at this overall company, I would say it's a big no without even looking at the supplement. But diving into their actual vegan protein powder, I feel a little differently. So per serving, which is 1 scoop at 36 grams, there is 1 gram of sugar, 140 calories, 6 grams of carbs, 2.5 grams of fat, and 24 grams of protein. I'm really, really impressed with the ingredients on this one. This could be a really great vitamin B12 supplement as well for people that are either deficient in it or people that are vegan/vegetarian that don't consume a lot of B12 in their diet. It is a really dense source of B12. So if you're taking an actual supplement for that, you could use this Optimum Nutrition vegan protein powder to get your protein supplement as well as a B12 supplement, and they also have some pretty clean ingredients in there that I was really impressed with. So it does contain natural flavors, like I said. Everything that has impressed me so far, the natural flavors are the one thing that I'm like, that really doesn't need to be in there, but I'm just not finding anything without it. So at this point in time, it might just have to be something that we overlook and look for health promotion in another area of our lives if you do choose to use protein powders to kind of offset that imbalance, okay? And that's what we really focus on, is just overall health promotion instead of eliminating one thing. What can we do to add into our diet to offset maybe some of the other not so great things? The other thing, I'm not a huge fan of their focus on weight management. You can very much tell from their website that they are focused on people that want to lose weight or want to bulk up in protein muscle. I'm just not a huge fan of that because, again, health promotion has to come first if we want to live a healthy, long, happy life. And focusing on weight in any sense just isn't great for our mindset, and it also is not a direct indicator of our health. So not a huge fan of that, but this supplement itself is actually really impressive. It also comes in at $30.99, but that is for 19 servings, so 19 scoops. That's not a 2-pound bucket like the one we were just talking about. But I do want to also say that that is the same price as 1 pound of their whey protein supplement, which means if you shop at a grocery store and you buy meat and produce, you know that meat products are more expensive than produce, than fresh vegetables, because you can go out and pick them in your yard if you so choose. If these are the same price, that means that either their whey is very low quality and it's very cheap for them to get and resell, or they're very much overcharging for a plant-based supplement just because it's a popular thing right now. I also don't get behind that. I think pricing should be fair and affordable for everyone. I think overcharging people for making a healthier decision, and this goes across the board for companies that charge extra for a salad, but they're, burger, that you upcharge for a veggie burger, but it comes with a meat burger that's more expensive than the veggie patty. Okay? I don't think that's cool. I think they are very much taking advantage of a health movement in the United States. So that is kind of the pros and cons for that one. Again, this might be something that I try in the future, actually, because the ingredients list were just really impressive. So final one for today, we are looking at Isagenix. Now, this is a direct selling company, just like Orgain and Shakeology that we looked at last week. Okay, this one. Their shakes are listed under a weight loss tab. So you go to their website and you click on the weight loss tab that is the first one right at the header of their page, and you get these supplements. Like I just said, weight loss is not an indicator of health, ever, okay? Your health is very dependent on what you're putting in and how you're treating your body. And if you are focusing on losing weight to be able to do this thing, to be able to be loved by this person, to be able to anything, we're in the wrong mindset. And that's where you would need to come and work with a nutrition professional, okay? This is a very diet mindset, diet culture. I do not support that. I think that it has some very poor mental effects. So I, off the bat, was not a huge fan of that. For their vegan protein powders, we are looking at 2 scoops, 55 grams, sort of similar to Orgain's supplement recommendation. We're looking at 1 gram of sugar, 220 calories, which is a more decent calorie intake, but still not enough to make a meal. And I do know that this company very, very much pushes a diet where you have a shake for a meal and that's it, or you have a shake for like 3 meals and you basically are fasting for a day or 2 or 3, and it's not safe and it's not healthy. Okay, so 220 calories is not enough for a meal 3 times a day. Okay, you're depriving your body, you're slowing your metabolism down. There's so many things that could go wrong with that. I want to go back and touch on that. It does have a decent source of all of our macronutrients. We're looking at 20 grams of carbs, 5 grams of fat, 24 grams of protein. We got some issues here, y'all. We're looking at a dairy-free seal, okay? They claim dairy-free, but it contains the probiotic lactobacillus, which is a bacteria that comes from dairy. I'm not quite sure how that happens. But lactobacillus is a byproduct of dairy. And so technically it is dairy-free because it doesn't have actual whey or casein or anything like that in it. But it could still upset your GI if you are sensitive. I think that there should be a bigger differentiation there. It also contains very high sugar ingredients, such as molasses and cellulose, but they only list out that 1 gram of sugar from actual sugar. If you look at something like maple syrup, this is a huge sugar substitute right now. Maple syrup, a serving size, which I believe is 1/4 cup, is 25 grams of sugar. That's your daily intake. Now, hopefully, nobody is using a whole 1/4 cup of maple syrup in one sitting. But that's what I'm saying here. Molasses is very similar. It has a super high sugar content, which means that it should be listed in that nutrition label there. I just think it's very odd the way that they are marketing and listing out their ingredients. It seems a little sketch to me. So I'm also not impressed with the ingredients list. Lots of concentrates and extracts, which can be okay, but we want real food, right? We want to look at something like Orgain where you're taking, or Shakeology, where you're taking that actual food and you are dehydrating it, powderizing it, and putting it straight into the supplement. Not breaking it down, taking the oil and extract from it, and then that's less concentrated than the actual food, taking all the fiber away, and then kind of chemically altering that and putting it into the supplement. I'm just not very impressed. This is the most expensive of the day. It comes in at $46.99 for 14 servings. So it is not only the most expensive per purchase, but it is also the most expensive per serving. But if you have an account with them and are on their customer program, it is that $46.99. But if you're not, okay, so I got that backwards a little bit. If you are their customer, it is $46.99. Still the most expensive of the day, but if you don't decide to become a customer and you just want to order it one time or whenever you're ready for it, $62.65 retail. Now, this price is something that I would pay for the Beachbody Shakeology. We chatted about that a little bit last week. I think it could be a really great supplement, but I'm not paying $130 a bag for it when I don't know the amounts and nutrient values of what they're including. So right now, as it's listed, I would pay $62.65 for the 30 servings of Beachbody. I think that would be a fair price because of what's in it. And even the Orgain. But I definitely would not pay it for the Isagenix shake. there's nothing in it that is worth that much. And that's just my honest opinion. So we are at our end here. The winner for this week is a tie. Orgain and Optimum Nutrition are my choices for this week. So far, let's say for the overall, I am calling it a tie right now between Orgain, Optimum Nutrition, and Shakeology. Optimum Nutrition, again, I think it's a great supplement, great source of B12. The ingredients are very clean. However, it does not have all the added benefit of the superfood powdered foods that are in the Orgain and Shakeology supplements. Between the two, I will say Orgain probably wins because the price tag is so much less and you're actually getting more herbs, fruits, vegetables in the supplement than you are with Shakeology. So far, we're going to call it a win for Orgain and Optimum Nutrition. That is my honest, unbiased opinion up to this point. Next week, we'll come back for our final three. We are going to be looking at First Form, 1UP, and Thrive protein powders / meal, shake, nutrition, whatever you want to call it there. So that will be our final episode of our protein powders. Then we will move into a brand new series. If you have a recommendation for that, drop it in the comments. I'm so excited to dive in and really give you guys just the overall roundup on what we're looking for in these supplements because it's something that you all are really passionate about making a better choice for your body, which I admire and adore about every single one of you. If you've made it this far with me, thank you so much. I hope you have a happy, safe, and healthy weekend. I'll see you next week.